This event goal for this webinar is to help today's webinar participants to gain insight and perspective about how to be confident in English, writing with or without deep knowledge of English. This event will explain comprehensively how to start writing English, how to construct an English writing, and how to use the right grammar in English. I would like to also remind all of you that we will share the feedback form at the end of the webinar, so please stay tuned for that. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone, our prevent team, who have worked hard to make this event possible. Before we begin, I would like to introduce you to our company, the Global Millennial Group, or known as GMG. GMG is one self-developmental platform that strives for quality education and global youth empowerment through various educational programs. Our services span as far as 35 countries through more than 15 programs, working with more than 300 partners to help more than 200,000 youths. Additionally, we are also recognized by in cooperation with multiple government bodies and educational institutions. Some of our well-known programs include Global Millennial MUN, Water English, Indonesia SDG Summit, Be Global Indonesia, and Global Millennial Scholarship. We all know that shopping is something that a lot of people are into, right? Maybe some of you here love it too. Which is why we have special store for all of you, the Global Millennial Store. You can get highly quality official merchandise from GMG at the best prices. We have different designs and you will definitely love them. So follow the link provided on the slide and snatch your official merch now. Back to our events. In order to participate in our amazing events, please do check out our various membership plans, which are the bronze, silver, and gold packages. They are highly beneficial and you will definitely love it. Moving on, I would like to elaborate on our Wonder English program further. Word English is formed to improve the ability of youth in both conversation and writing English that has become essential in our everyday life, and also to empower youth to develop their self-development platform through improving the quality of youth English public speaking skills. Therefore, we initiate programs that were inclusive, affordable, safe, and maintain the quality of academics under the public speaking class, conversation class, and writing class. In English public speaking class, you will learn how to convey your message to the public and ensure top quality engagement throughout the delivery. In English conversation class, you will learn how to initiate the program. Initiate a conversation, inquire about information, and have discussion with a classmate to have a real practice. In English writing class, you will learn how to write a letter, whether it's formal, academic, or a creative one, and ensure the output draft will be understandable with top-notch content. For each class, there will be a total of 4 meetings and each will be done once a week. So go register yourself now and use the reference code shown here to get a special discount. I would like to also inform all of you to join our giveaway by posting today's activity and tag us on Instagram at @wonder.english and at Global Millennial Group to get a free seat on Wonder English class. We'll choose 5 lucky winners to become our students. Don't forget to submit the proof on bit.ly/WE1-GA before 10 p.m. GMT plus 7 tonight. Now that everyone know what we are all about, we will officially commence the event with an opening speech from our Director of Event Management, Ms. Haura Alia Amani.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. And thank you, Feli, for the screen, of course. And yeah, hi everyone. My name is Haura Alia Mani. I guess you guys already know me, but yeah, maybe some of you have not know me really well. So yeah, let me introduce myself. And yeah, I'm Haura Alia Mani, and here I am as the Director of Program Management for the Wonder English episode 1, which is we're going to talk about the importance of English writing. And yeah, I would like to say thank you for everyone that joining us today, since I know this is Saturday night, and I believe some of you are actually thinking about going out with your family or your friend, but here you guys are. We have 31 people right here. I guess I have to uh really appreciate it. I really appreciate your effort for coming in today and tonight. So I also wanted to say thank you so much for our speaker, Mr. Wahyu, that willing to join us tonight as our speaker. And you have to know, guys, that he is such an amazing person because he have a lot of achievement, and I guess we have to respect him and learn a lot from him. So yeah, I hope you guys after this webinar we're gonna have like a more understanding, more inspiration from him, and we can learn a lot of insights from him as well. Yeah, I guess I still have more time, right? So I think to see if everyone is actually listening, yeah, I wanna do a mood check. So between 1 until 5, can you please type how's your day today? So if you type 1, it means you're not in a really good day. And if 5, it means you have a really great day. So I guess since today's is Wonder English webinar, I'm gonna type 5. Since yeah, I'm highly happy today to see you guys here today. So guys, please type something. 7, it was okay. Okay, cool. Velita, 5. 3. Okay, I'm still waiting for you guys for another response. 5, 5, 5. Cool, 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 cool. 5. 5. Oh my god, someone still have 3. Oh my god, thank you guys for having 5 for today. I hope you have a nice day and gonna end this day by with a lot of happiness, of course. I also wanted to know, did you guys have your dinner or did you guys eat your dinner tonight? Are you guys? Because I believe some of our member team right now haven't eat their dinner because their business, I guess. And Feli, I guess you have eaten your dinner, right? No, Atufal, Graciela said not yet. Oh my god. Anyone else that haven't eat? Or maybe you guys have eat something for your dinner? I guess it's time to eat your dinner, guys. Don't forget to eat. Okay, I'm still looking for your response because I'm gonna type yes. Okay. I'm still waiting for your response, guys. Please type something so I can see if you're here. Not yet. Oh no. Okay, another one maybe. Yeah, cool, cool. Sania and Key, cool, cool, cool. Thank you, thank you. For those that haven't eat your dinner, guys, please eat your dinner while listening to Mr. Wahyu. It's okay. I guess I hope you're okay, Mr. Wahyu, because yeah, if they're not eating, I guess they maybe got like ma or yeah, some stomach ache. I'm not sure, but yeah, I hope you guys will be okay and stay healthy. And I hope you guys enjoy this webinar and learn a lot from our speakers. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you. And back to you, Felita. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Haura, thank you for the opening, and now we will proceed to our long-awaited webinar. Before we kick off the session, let me introduce to you our magnificent speaker for today, Mr. Wahyu. Mr. Wahyu is the best 2020 Erlangga University graduate. He achieved 43 writing competition awards ranging from campus to worldwide levels. Wow, now he is working as a research assistant with the National Battery Research Institute. He also becomes a research and development specialist at Jaria, a platform in Indonesia that also solves waste management problems for especially Akran Mushab. He has been writing since 2015 and has published 20 novels and has contributed to over 50 anthology volumes. I cannot wait any longer, so without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Wahyu. How are you doing, Mr. Wahyu? Mr. Wahyu?
Hi, good evening. Am I audible? Sorry, I think I got a little bit technical issue here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right, cool. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you for asking. And hello, everyone. Good to see you.
Okay, sir, you can dive directly into our discussion, shall we?
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Miss Felita, for a nice introduction. Hello, everyone. Good evening from Jakarta, and hope you guys have a nice learning or maybe nice night for this night. And my name is Wahyu, and it's an honor for me to be here. I'm not calling me as a speaker, but maybe as a friend, for we talk and also discuss more about the writing. Because as a friendly disclaimer, I also still learning from for this topic. It's been maybe 3 or 4 years during when I started for the first time in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. To make it more easy, may I share my screen? Can you see my screen? Is it already? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we
Can you
can
see
see
my
your
screen?
screen.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Thank you for your confirmation. And my topics for today is will be English writing one-on-one, and I have several experience through the writing, and I hope I could share to you about the writing specifically in English writing. And as Miss Felita mentioned before, I have several activities after my campus graduation. I have graduated from University of Airlangga, majoring in physics. I'm not an English literature. I'm not an English teacher, but I'm a physics student. I mean, a physics graduate, and I got my bachelor degree in last year, 20 and 21. The first moment when we got COVID, and I think the first moment when it's a virtual graduation. And right now, I become a research assistant at National Battery Research Institute. It is kind of like a research institute for bolstering our research in renewable energy and also battery energy storage. As we know that right now, the green energy transition is a must for saving our Earth, and then we need more scientists, we need more research in this field to accelerating our green transition. And of course, we need a battery for that. And uh, besides that, I also become a product manager in Jaria. It's kind of like a socialpreneur that try to overcome the waste management problem. So specifically in Mushaf, in Word, Mushaf of Al Quran, and also the other paper waste management. And I also have a passion in writing, so I already published 20 books. I start my writing journey in 2016, and then right until now, I already write 20 books. So how can I write these numbers of books, and also why we need to write specifically in English? We will give more explanation on this occasion. And here's several my books that I already published, and you may see it's just like a proof that I already published my book. And but in the last 3 months, I also have several new books. Start with World War because of the physics, and then Nusta Berkata, and also in November in last month, I also published Inspirasi Mahasiswa Berprestasi. Okay, and and it's also my it's kind of like photogenic, or maybe my moment during my campus life. I thought it's not really bad to be shared to you. I ever become a student of the year 2018 and also 2019, and also become the most outstanding student 2017 and 2018, and I also become gratefully become the outstanding graduation. And since I have a passion in writing, specifically in scientific writing, so I push myself during my college life to always involved in several writing competition, and I got a magnificent number here, 43 medals, and I don't expect that because I just really enjoy moment by moment during my process in this writing competition. And when I start told my background, some people turn to me and also try to make an overthinking maybe, and they say, oh, how and why you could do that, and they maybe have a curious about me, and the first thing that already mentioned by them is. And they think that Wahyu is has a many privilege because as we know, privilege has become one of I think big concern for today's people because I think this is also one of the reason why people can can have an achievement or also cannot gain an achievement because of privilege. And frankly speaking, I don't have any privilege in terms of material because I come not from a rich family. I just come from ordinary family, and my father and also my mother is not rich enough. I mean, I can go to University of Airlangga. I can continue my study to college. It's because of government scholarship. Maybe you know in Bahasa we know also bidik misi or I know KIP if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not too privileged for the materials to be honest. And the second one is about my father or maybe my mother background. They questioning that maybe Wahyu has a parent as a lecturer or even a teacher because when we see the reality in our society, when people or when kids or maybe when someone have a passion or have a skill in writing, maybe he comes from a lecturer or maybe from a teacher background. But in fact, our my father and also my mother only graduated from junior high school. I maybe it passed or not. I don't know because he or she doesn't have a good intention or also good skill in reading. And I also, ladies and gentlemen, I can read. I have a skill in reading when I the first when I in the first class in elementary school. So I think it's a little bit late. And the third one is about the IPK or perfect graded point average. Because as we know, I mentioned that I have a several achievement, and then I also awarded as the most outstanding student. And formally and generally, uh, the most outstanding student always have a perfect grade point average. But in my case, I think I'm still an ordinary because I ever experiencing D and then E point, and also I ever got the EPK in 2.1 in one semester. So I think I'm still ordinary person, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not good enough or even a perfect one. So why I start with this fact, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to remind me and also maybe you guys that every professional is start from a beginner. So one of the common mistakes that we done when we see the reality of the world is we just see some people on the day. I mean that we cannot go through the story behind them. So frankly speaking, as we know in the fact that every professional is start from a beginner, it's kind of like a bolstering strategy that we have a change. We have a same opportunity to grow and also to reach our dream if we want to go faster and so on and so forth. Because I do believe that our professor in college, it also start from new student or maybe our president right now, President Joko Widodo, he also normally as an ordinary person from Solo. So we don't have any barrier here because I believe that every professional is start from a beginner. So when I try to memorize, because one of my friends told to me, and I mean asked to me, what is the factors that make Wahyu maybe have a different path in my college story? And I found I have three factors that maybe it's become an alternative for you guys to bolstering your campus life. The first one is about my mother's prayer. I mean that when I can reach my dream, I mean like I got medals and also I got several achievement, or even I have or I can fly to several countries. It's not about I'm become a great one. It's because there are many my mom prayers that is accepted by God. So that's a different one because I believe it. I believe it with my mother. And the second one is about the dare to dream big. Personally, I grow with a dream, a big one, because in 2013 I inspired with one of the video call it as a pembuat bijak from his name is Nanang Amar Prabowo, and he is a student in ITB, and I try to follow his path and just write it down uh, my my dream. And other time it's still a nonsense. It's kind of like bullshit. Some people some people mock me that it's kind of like yeah, it's too hard, and also you don't have any chance to go farther with your dream. And yeah, I just follow my path, and magically 80% of my dream that I wrote in 2013 is um, is accepted or is achieved by me in 5 years after that. And good one from that most of them is come from writing. And the third one is Heartbreak with Talent. I very inspired by almarhum B.J. Habibie. He ever said that some people with great intelligence, but he lazy, he will defeated by the ordinary one that he is very hard, have a passionate in work. And I am a second person on that because because I know that I still have a lack of knowledge because I come from village, and then I also don't have any experience to a language before. So I I I I spare most of my time in my first college to learn many things about writing and also about the language itself. So I believe with this that heartbreak with balance, ladies and gentlemen. And after I a little bit intermezzo with my background, so I will start to move to the core of this matter. I will start with this, ladies and gentlemen, and it's about kind of insight from Simon Sinek. If you don't know, Simon Sinek is he is international writer and also public speaker. You can find it. You can find his talk in TEDx easily. And one of the famous book, and I bet that you guys have known it before. It's Start with Why. It's very famous, and because it's also become my favorite one. And if you're still on college, I recommend you to read this because it's really give enlightenment to the college student to be more precise with their dream and also with their life plan. But one thing that it's related with our topics for today topics is about the golden circle, because when we start to learn something, when we start to mastering something, we need to know the motivation or the reason behind why we need to spare many times through mastering someone and so on and so forth. So, but and if you see in the screen, we have a three circle here. The first layer, I mean, the outer one is what, and then the middle one is how, and the core one is why. Most of us, and also part of me, is always start with what. We try to questioning what can we do. Okay, we will start to write, and then how we can overcome with writing. So we learn to writing, and then after that we don't know why we need to write, why we should spare our time to be more productive with writing, and so on and so forth. And we need to shift this paradigm with start from the core. We need to ask to ourselves why we need to more productive with writing, or even in more general, why you need to maybe mastering English or way you what the hell with your life. So we need to found the strong way itself, because I remember one of insight from Mark Twain. Mark Twain is professional and also an international writer from United States. He ever said that there are two things that are really important in our life. The first one is the day when we birth, and the second one is the day when we find our purpose. And the purpose is always related with strong why. If you know your strong why, and then you will have a more easier path during your life, and so on and so forth. So I will start with strong why. The first strong why we should learn English in general, because I just realized one thing, ladies and gentlemen. I just realized this when I graduated from University of Airlangga, that today's reality is a little bit bitter because when we fluent in English, it's become an ordinary right now. But if we can't understand English, it's a huge loss. I mean, if you see many job vacancies, one of the most requirement is English, or even if you try to more broader than just a job vacancy, and you will find that the other requirement is the other United Nations language such as French, and then China, and then maybe Germany, Netherlands is also the necessary, because yeah, the globalization is real and we need to adopt with the unchangeable with our journey and also our life itself. So the great message that I give it to you in the first of my speech is about the importance of English, of course, and I very interesting with these topics with this webinar, because one of their vision is to encourage people specifically in our nation to be more proactive and also have a good skill in English. And I think it's really a good step for improving our nation, of course. So the next one, we will dive deeper to the reason why we need to write in English. And the second one, this is my strong why, ladies and gentlemen, it's about broadening the impact. Mean that if you have a skill to write in English, you have a broad chance to share your idea without boundaries. I mean. Some people, since English is an international language from people from Argentina, people from US, people from Europe, or even from Africa, they all understand English. So if you have a publication of your if you have a publication that's written by English, so it has a chance that your impact that written in your writing is could be impactful to them. I mean, if you are passionate in something kind of like global warming or even climate change, and you put it on your talk on that, and it's really maybe intriguing, and then you share it to the internet maybe, and some people around the world will read and also will understand with your writing itself, because it's through the English. So I think that's also one of my intention when I start to write in English in several years ago, because I believe that the impact is need to be go farther than just in our country. And then the second one is about the unlock international opportunity. As we know that once again, English is international language, and also writing is also part of important skill. Since if you have one of the skills after you graduate, which is writing, so you have a more opportunity rather than your competitors. And this really happened to me, ladies and gentlemen, because I graduate, I have a bachelor degree in science, specifically in physics, and my first job is about to be a writer in targeted fake news filter. It is kind of like a startup, digital startup, the best in Silicon Valley, and the first one I apply as an analyst, and then the CEO know that I am a writer, then he promote me to become an editor. That's because I have a little skill in writing itself. So it's kind of like a fact that if you have a good in English writing, so you have a more international opportunity. Or if you also have a dream to maybe someday you become student in Cambridge, or you try to continue your degree to the abroad campus. So you need to have a good English writing, because of course if you want to apply some scholarship, you need to write motivation letter, or maybe a letter of settlement, and so on and so forth. And it needs English writing skills, ladies and gentlemen. And here's some of my experience after I try to always study to write in proper way. And just I mentioned before, I in 2013 I already written my dream, going abroad and then see the snow for the first time. And magically 2015, 5 years, 2018, 5 years after I wrote my dream, writing bring me there in Istanbul at the time. So I think it's kind of like benefit also strong why I need why I passionate to write, because sometime in the past, since before right before COVID dismantle our life, I become one of a travel writer due to the writing, and it's very helpful because I have a skill in writing in English. So next one is about maybe the misconception about the English writing. Some people, maybe some senior and also our society, believe that English writing is an academic writing. Means that um, something called English writing, if it published in a journal or maybe in a thesis or kind like that. But in fact, ladies and gentlemen, all of things that you write in English is also an English writing. Maybe you quote something in your Twitter, or maybe you make a description through your Instagram with English. It's also English writing, gentlemen. Because if we remember several studies that we already gained in the past, maybe in elementary or maybe in junior or maybe in senior high school about English writing, it's mentioned that there are several types of writing in there. So we need to brief ourselves that the English writing is not only about academic writing. Academic writing is, yes, it's a part of English writing, but English writing is not only about academic writing. So because when in short way, in at a glance, I think there are two big kind of big group. The first one is formal writing, means like academic writing belongs to there, and then the other one is informal writing, maybe your status in Instagram, or maybe your thread in your Twitter, and so on and so forth. So before I dive deeper, why is writing so complicated? Anyone? Maybe you could use your chat box to express your opinion through this, because as we know, reality, in fact, some people prefer to talk rather than to write, because yeah, it's quite complicated and maybe also challenging. Anyone? Because I already prepared to answer here. We have a joke answer and also serious answer, because I know it's a Saturday night and we need to be serious, right? Anyone? Okay, I think I don't find any new in the floor. So why is writing so complicated? I start with joke answer. Why is writing so complicated, ladies and gentlemen? Because the distance between our brain and also our tongue is less than our brain to our hand. So it means that when you have a less distance between your tongue to your brain, it means it's easier than you are writing with using your hand. That's a joke answer. And then the second one, the serious answer is about it is the true one. Why is writing so complicated? It's because writing needs to have a pattern, needs to have an outline in on the other words. Because when you talk, you just talk anything in your brain, just pour it out. But when you talk about writing, it's really different because you need to have an outline there, you need to have a main topic there, you need to have, simply you have to build the pattern through your writing. So that means it's more complicated than talk in general. So I hope it gives you a brief picture how and why writing is being so complicated. So the next one, when we already know the reason why the writing is so complicated, and I try to give you a short explanation about the basic knowledge of writing itself. I bet that you already received this material when you are in maybe junior, junior high school, or even in your college. As we know, ladies and gentlemen, that we have several type of the text when we talk about the English writing. We have a recount here, response, narrative, information report, poetry, procedure, discussion, exposition, description, and also explanation. At glance, every type of text in English is have a different goals, have a different aim of your writing itself. Because when we try to write something, the first thing first that we need to figure out is about the goals, or the aims of your writing itself. Is it just a poetry? It's just an opinion, or it is very informative, or maybe it's just a description of something. It's always related with every single kinds of writing text in English. So when we talk about recount, it's you normally found just recount text in news or in newspaper, and then response is to summarize something, and narrative is about a story. If you adore to read a novel, it's always narrative, information report here, and procedure and discussion, and so on and so forth. So basic idea for this slide is I just try to address one of one of the important one when we talk about English writing is about the type of your English writing itself. Is it recount or is it explanation? And if you choose your style or your type of your text, and then you will know where it belongs to. Is it just a news one, or is it a kind of report, or it's for tests and so on and so forth. And then the next one is about the grammar, of course, because when we talk about the English, it's not the English, it's all language is about the grammar, grammatical. And when we talk about the English writing, how important the grammar is. Some people doubt that the grammar is just something that makes a language itself is very difficult to learn. But personally, in my opinion, we need to thank to the grammar, because grammar is a system of language, the rules of language. In a short way, realize or not, we are safe by grammar. Means that we need to shift our paradigm through this grammar. It's not about the system. It's not about the rules. It's about the system of language. Of course, when we try to build something in a specific way, we talk about the English writing, and then we need to know in details about the system, and we need to learn the grammar itself. And if you have a couple of a couple of time, or maybe you come from a book nerd, I think you have to read this one. I think it's also recommended for you. It's about the grammar itself, written by Carlos Banreth. Have you eaten grammar? And interestingly, you found that this grammar is called the comma. Then, if you realize that there are there is a difference of there are difference between with comma and then without a comma. If you put the comma here, and then you realize that it's kind of a request to the grammar to eat something. And then if we pull out the comma, and then it's kind of like we will it the grammar. So in terms of writing, the grammatical and also the grammar is very important. And I think and I bet that the grammar is also could can we can learn the grammar if we want. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next one is about the secrets. How you could increase the English writing for many terms that you need to master to be. And in my point of view, there are two secrets. There are three secrets that hopefully it help you to increase your English writing. The first one is about the Ernest Hemingway message. It's about the writing itself. So it's a little bit philosophically, but I think it's really need to be have some concern on this. I mean, it's like we need to understand this one because if you want to be a writer, a great one, the only thing that you need to do is writing, nothing else. Just write what you have in your brain, what you have in your experience, and so on and so forth. Because I think it's really impactful. Yeah, the only kind of writing is rewriting. Because and you're done with writing, and then you need to rewrite again and again and again to become a writer, specifically in English. And the second one, the secret is about the universal formula. Some people say that English writing is quite hard because they don't know the formula itself, and I bet that you already learned this in maybe in college or maybe in your previous school. That in Bahasa we may know as SPOK, but in English we have a subject, verb, and object. It also call it as a complete sentence when at glance, a complete sentence is a proper one to increase your English writing. Means that if you want to learn English writing, just follow this rule. Follow this rule. I mean that when you try to write your English uh, text, just follow this universal formula. You put your subject here, and then verb, and then object, and that's retention. And you will find and you will have a text, a paragraph in English, because I think it's really simple. You just it's like example here, subject, what is subject that you belongs to be, and then the verb that it's related with the subject, and then the object. Or maybe you could also add an additional like an adverb of time, and also adverb of place, and so on and so forth, to be more complex. But in terms of English writing, in my opinion, and also in several books that I already read, this universal formula is good enough. Is enough to build your basic of English writing. But if you want to mastering it, you need to add it more complex and complex. And then the third one, the first secret is about the writing habits, and then the second one is about the universal formula, why and how you have to put your word that following the universal formula. And the third one, you also need to know about the English proficiency stage phase, maybe because it's called as a CEFR. It's kind of like a framework to evaluate us in what term and what stage that we are belongs to be specifically in English proficiency. And if you already took the IELTS, maybe you're familiar with this because it's also figure out what kind of English user for us in this page. And you could see in our screen here that the A1 is very beginner. It means that you are mastering. I mean, you know some topics. You know maybe less than 500 words, and then if you move to A2, it's elementary. You can understand simple information in text and audio or video with focus on familiar topics. And then intermediate, it's at glance, it used to be in junior high school. And then the B1, it should be senior high school. And the C1, it belongs to undergraduate student. And then the C2, the top of the top is belong to master student or maybe doctoral student. The difference between every stage is about the type of the word that you belong to be. Means that you when you write yourself through the writing itself, uh, there are several writing proficiency. There are several words that related. Is it very suitable with the context, or it just too general for the sentence itself? So I think it could be sharpened time by the time, and we need to more study for this, because I think personally it's also important to make our English writing always improve by the time. This we try to dive deeper to the topics, because I already mentioned several before about the secrets, and also the strong why. I mean, the why reason you should to maybe learn in English writing. And then this is a simple one: how we try to learn to write English itself. There are four simple steps, I think. The first one is organize yourself first. Means that just thought that what kind of sentence, what kind of topic that you need to share with your audience, with your writing itself. And then the second one is the example for each point. I mean, like you mentioned about the COVID-19 Omicron variant is very deadly for today, and then you just put the example of the deadliest effect for the Omicron itself, and so on and so forth. And then the third one is transition connect ideas, means that several sentences need to have several connection between sentence, or maybe between the paragraph, and we need to arrange it in proper way to avoid the misconception, of course. And the fourth one is always revise and proofread. It's also being important, since you already finished your first draft, and then just take a look which one is still need to be improved, and also which one is already good enough, or even you could use your thesaurus, or even your grammar checker to make sure that you are writing in a good grammar. And then if we see in the other screen, you may find that I think it's just an additional form for me, because it's all about formal writing. Because previously I mentioned there are so big group for English writing, informal writing and also formal writing. And since we are in academic society, we need also to learn the formal writing. There are several tips for me that could overcome how to increase our formal writing skills. The first one is sophisticated transition, because like in addition, consequently, rather than and, but, and, or. Because when we talk about formal writing, it needs it have a high standards that you need to follow through the standard, because it have a several reviewer, and then several um, stage that to be accepted. And then the second one is the other tips: don't use okay or and ka, but use a full word instead of satisfactory or acceptable, for instance. And the third one is about abbreviation. Avoid using abbreviation like etc or ag. Just give the full one, like ag means that extra gracia, and ea, and so on and so forth. And the other one is avoid contraction, and then don't begin sentence with numerals, and also don't use exclamation point, don't use verb contraction, and avoid using dialect in a formal essay. Since our class is one on one, so I don't dive deeper to this part. I just uh, give you a brief introduction to the formal writing. The next one is about the other tips for us to improve our English writing skills. The first one is you could start writing randomly on any topics. Since you already know the secrets to become an English writer, and then you already know the universal formula for the English writing, and also you already You already know also about the TEFR, I mean like English proficiency phase. And then you also already learned the previous one, the simple way to start your journey to write in English. And this at this screen, I will give you several explanations to how we nail or maybe how we overcome the several problem during the English writing process. The first one, if you still don't have any idea what kind of topics that you want to pour it to your Microsoft Word or maybe to your paper, just start writing randomly on any topic. I do believe that our brain is always fulfilled with several information, several maybe memories, and also several um, knowledge that you gain when you talk, when you discuss with your friend, or maybe the other tunnels. Just write it down what you have in your brain. And the second one, don't stop after the first draft. Finish is become darling when I mean that the finish is better than incomplete. I mean, of course, the perfectionist is must, but we need to consider also the first draft. I mean, just finish it to become the first draft, and then it would refresh again and also make some improvement through the proof of your writing itself. And then the third one, place all your writing in one space. And you could also utilize the online resources since we are in a midst of the AI technology and the age of technology. There are several online platforms that could provide you to check your grammatical, kind of like Grammarly and this friend, because I think it's also useful to just make sure and also to bring your confidence up because as long as I know, when we talk about writing, one of the most obstacle to the beginner writer is about the confidence itself. Some people don't want to publish his or her publication because they think that it's poor enough. But yes, we already make a deal before that. Every professional is always start with a beginner. So I think everyone is already in his own process. It's just go on and just do it. And the last one, think out of the box. I think out of the box ideas mean that there are several ideas out of there, and we need to connecting the dots during your knowledge and during your experience to make it more comprehensive. And of course, and we talk about English writing, since writing is a part of skills and also English itself is a part of skills, it's all about practice, ladies and gentlemen. When you more practice you get, and then more perfection you will have. When that simply practice makes perfect. More practice you have, more perfect you will be. And this is also one of my favorite figure to explain more about this issue. Some people just I mean like there are many jobs there to just start because as we know that million times journey is start with one or two steps. So yeah, just do it. Just write what you're concerned about. Just try what you want to be, and then you will and then you will realize that yes, I can do it, or yes, I did it personally. And then I hope I still have a time here. And then the next one is about the simple tips. I already give you several tips, and maybe this is become the other consideration for you to increase your English writing skills. The first one, well, there are eight. I hope it's truly eight because I don't know. I just put it in right way or not. The first one we talk about efficient writer is about when you have an idea, write it down because as we know that idea is on many things out of there and inside your brain also outside our mind. So we need to write it down when it has maybe a second or maybe a minute. Just write it down because when we don't write it, so I do believe 100% it will forgot. So just write it down. Just write what topics that it maybe have a consideration to have an impact, or maybe it's really make you passionate to write. For example, I really concerned for climate change or maybe energy transition. So I spare some my time to write several articles to this topic because it makes me passionate to learn and also to get more information through the topics. And the second one is writing is easier when research is done and the framework has been laid out. Previously, I also mentioned about why the writing is more complicated than talking because of this one. We need to give a brief. I mean, we need to figure out the outline and also the pattern of our writing, and we could build it very easy when we have. We have used several research, or maybe you have some information the proper one to be subsidies to your writing itself. And then the third one is about I can see my I can't see my Okay, the fourth one is about don't get chuck up with pesky details. And then some people, and also I already experienced about this one. It's about the detail itself. Let's say you try to write about the maybe President Joko Widodo biography, and you forgot about where he born, and then you just don't continue your writing because you can't figure out the place where the professor President Joko Widodo born. So I think detail is okay, but we need to figure out the other things. We need to finish it once to become a draft, and then after that you could go back to the details and make it sharper than before. And then the fourth one is about the form of plan. I mean, it's like a brainstorming. If you have the maybe some reader also known it uh, as a you have any ideas in our mind, so we need to brainstorm or maybe just talk about something and maybe you have an inspiration through that. And the sixth one, when we talk about the writing process, is it means that we should limit any distraction on your phone or maybe the Wi-Fi itself, because once you connect to the internet and there are many distractions there. So my suggestion to make your writing process is smooth, just avoid places with Wi-Fi. And then the other tips for me is about the retention, because when you practice more and then you have a pattern to your English writing, and then you will have an easier way to write in your way itself. And maybe this tips could be work for you because you could try to write at least 500 words a day. And I think it will work when you have a target, when you have a goal. I mean, like if you want to take IELTS test maybe in couple of months, and then it's a target, right? So you need to be more maybe progressive on that. And one of them is about the writing skills. So you need to put the new habit there. Try to write at least 500 words a day, and also you could update gradually your phrase and also your writing skill itself. And the eighth one is get rid of all writing mistakes. Yeah. How to avoid? Maybe you could read it out loud. Just a simple disclaimer. This tips is maybe just an alternative or just a reference for you if you don't maybe don't they say that it's not mind enough. So just take which one is relevant with you, and the other one just put it away because everyone has their own way. So I hope that you have several alternative or maybe preference here, and then try to modify it and make it more suitable with you. And then revise it, of course, and just use a dictionary. Maybe you could use your thesaurus or maybe Grammarly to make sure that your writing is clear enough and also good enough. Okay, and then maybe I already in a bring of my presentation. I try to give the other perspective about the writer's block. Some writer always say that writer's block is like a ghost. It's like a great obstacles for writer or maybe for beginner writer to be more productive. As I mentioned before, that writer's block is like a condition that you are really in a developed way. You have no any idea what kind of word that you could be written in the Microsoft Word already in your paper. So it called it a writer's block. For give you a more maybe brief information or brief introduction to writer's block, I will try to use this figure. You see here is a bottle and this is a glass. And then we have a water inside the bottle itself. It's kind of like represent as the cup or maybe this glass is like your writing, and then this bottle is like it's like our mind, and the water itself it's like our word, our idea, and our thought. And the condition is this is the normal one when you could write it very fluently and also write it very without any obstacles. Means that you could write with a soft way. But can you imagine when the writer is empty? I mean, the bottle is without any water there. So you try to pour it the water. What will happen? There's nothing there, right? So the bottle with the empty water, sorry, the bottle with the empty water, and you try to pour the water to the cup. So there's nothing there. It also happened when the writer's block itself means that if you try to pour your idea, your thought, your phrase, your perspective through the writing, but inside our head is nothing. I don't say it's nothing, but maybe less of inspiration, or maybe is there any relevant information that related with your writing topic? So it become there's nothing there. So that's what happened in the mind of writer's block. So how to overcome with this syndrome? Yeah, you just read the other information. Just maybe you could take a walk and also discuss with your friend, or maybe you could also read to to gain some information that is related to your writing topic itself. So that's a simple way why writer's block it happens. So to overcome it, just uh, add some water, and you could give more explanation in your topics of writing. And maybe it is the last one. It's kind of like a prologue. Never wait until perfect to start. Just start it to be perfect. Because personally, I believe that when we already when we always wait the perfection, and then we can I mean that we cannot overcome with this. Just start it, and then you will be the perfect. And of course, the passion is a conchi. This I found from the WhatsApp stickers, and it's really amazing. Just so at glance, I mean the conclusion for my presentation is when you want to have a good or maybe a perfect in English writing, just start to progress today or maybe the second, and then you will be the perfect in several moments after you always be a progressive in this writing English. I think that's my presentation. I'm so sorry if there are several blubber moments there because I still learning on this. And if you want to find or maybe read some of my writing samples, you could go to these things, wahyusyafi'ul.medium.com, because since last year I built some portfolio through this. So I mean like I I wrote English writing here with related topics with my concern, of course, in climate change, energy transition, and so on and so forth. Or if you want to read my Indonesian one in Bahasa, you could visit this link in Kompasiana. Or if you want to connect with me, just through the Instagram, @pembuat_25. I think that's all my presentation, and thank you very much for your kind of attention. And I give this virtual stage back to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Wahyu, thank you so much for the presentation. It is very inspiring and I learned many things tonight. Okay, now we'll move on to the Q&A session. Should any of you have question for Mr. Wahyu, you can use your raise hand function and unmute yourself after I call your name, or put your question in the live and YouTube chat. Okay, Muslifa, you can unmute your mic.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muslifa. I'm from State Islamic Institute of Madura. Earlier, the speaker explained that the tips to make our writing is good by rewrite, and rewrite. Then, what about people who have a habit of deadlines? Like as myself, I do not have idea when the deadlines is still long. And then my question is how to handle this situation. Yeah. Thank you.
Should I directly answer or how, Ms. Selina?
Yes, you may answer it now.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Muslifa. It's nice to hear your question.
Yeah,
I think it's also important one. Thank you for bringing up. And what about as I mentioned before, it's like ideal one for the writer. But of course, as maybe a student, as a people, we have a bad habit like become a procrastinate. I mean, like just procrastinate with the work, and then when we face the deadline, so we become a panic and so on and so forth. So how to overcome with that? Personally, I also on there. I mean, I ever become a deadliner also, and maybe right until now. So there are several tips I think that maybe you could consider to avoid this bad habit. The first one is about the priority. Maybe you already know that the specific date of the deadline, and after that you just take the line to the back one, and then you put the schedule on that. Means like you just track your progress every day. Let's say you have a deadline of writing in this in the end of this month. It's like maybe 2 weeks from now, and then you'll give several maybe daily tasks that's related with your writing progress. So you just put on that. Maybe today I will write several books. I will write several books that's related with the topics, and then after that I will give an outline, and then I will figure out this pattern of my writing and so on and so forth. So I think that's the first one. Make a schedule, and the second one is just give a priority to write the topics. Means that the writing is not about we seek the time that is less than our priority. It's about we spare our time to write intentionally. So and that case, I think that we need to spare our time, maybe for 1 hour or 2 hours every day to track our progress. That's related with the first tip is about scheduling your daily progress. And the third one, of course, is because a habit. Maybe you try to shift of course, it needs more effort, but we need to try to be more productive in the future, right? So I think you need to use one of the one of the mantra for productive habits. They called us eat a frog, eat the frog. I mean, like just do it. I mean, the writing is like not an easy way, but you could make an easy it read. I mean, sorry, eat a frog. Just write it. Okay. So so there are three tips from me. The first one, you just make a task schedule to track your progress every day, and the second one, spare your time, and then the third one, just get your frog. The frog, it means you are writing that life. Hope it helps.
Thank you.
For sure.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wahyu, for the answer. So we have another one from Graciela. Graciela, you may unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity for me to ask. So, my question is, when we write, we obviously need some inspiration, right? And
Right.
if you don't mind me asking, my question is, where do you get most of your inspiration to write? Like, is there any book or website that you would like to recommend for us beginner to write in English? Thank you. That's my question.
All right. Thank you, Graciela, for your question. It's also an interesting one. Thank you for bringing up in the stage. And speaking about the inspiration, I think you could, since we are now in the midst of the age of the technology, so you could find in anywhere. But for a beginner, maybe for to bolster our English writing skills, I recommend you to gradually maybe read several English newspaper because I think in the last 6 months I already subscribed the Jakarta Post. It's part of it's kind of like a newspaper in English that uh, gives the information about the news in Indonesia. Or maybe if you want to more advance, you could also subscribe the New York Times or the other mainstream media from the outside of our countries. The thing is, when we um, when we try to more read in English writing or in English text, like you read several books in English, or maybe you read several articles in English, it also will stimulate our word word choice when we write. Means that as I mentioned in my presentation that writing is about a pattern. So um, if you have a habit to write English uh, paper or maybe English text, English book, and so on and so forth, you will have inspiration on that. It's about technically when we try to make it more maybe more readable or more visible for our audience. And the second one is about the gaining the idea. I think for the beginner, it depends on our concern, Ms. Graciela. Means that, as I mentioned before, because I really passionate about the energy transition or maybe climate change and so on and so forth. So I look up to the several websites that provide this of information. Then it depends on you, Ms. Graciela, what your concern is. So if you're maybe really concerned in environment, so just take a look to the other websites that provide this kind of like information. I hope that uh, works for you. Any feedback maybe? Or is there any details that I missed?
No, thank you so much.
Okay.
That's very helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good to hear that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wahyu, for the answer. And we have another question from YouTube. It's from Ratna Agustina. The question is, how do we arrange writing in English without having to be confused with grammar?
All right. About the grammar again. So I mentioned before that good grammar is not it's not a rule. It's like a facility to make sure that our writing is uh, read enough, or maybe some people for foreigners that understood with our text, or maybe with our English writing. So how to overcome? I mean, how to increase our capability through using the grammar through our English writing? It's simple as just practice it. Just practice more and more, and then besides, maybe the parallel with our practice to always write with the right one, you just also look up to the several articles that already use the grammar in a proper one. Yeah, as simple as you could write. I'm sorry, you could read maybe newspaper in English like the Jakarta Post and so on and so forth. And maybe also you could look up to the several articles that is already provided. I mean, open editorial for newspaper. I think it's already under the reviewer, so it's good enough to become English writing itself. So I think that's the first one is just practice it. Give more information to our brand that we need to be more specific to the writing. I mean the English text. I think that's my answer. Salika, sorry.
And we have another question from Celine Patricia. Is Grammarly worth it? And or do you have any YouTube channel recommendation for writing English? Thank you.
Yeah, this also become a debatable for English writer, right? When we talk about Grammarly, it's use an artificial intelligence, and basically this is the produced from our human intention. Means that the artificial intelligence will help us to provide or maybe to check our grammar in a proper way, but in some time, just like Google Translate, if we depends on it, it will be a danger to our English progression. Means that we need to understand with the grammar, with the basic of grammar, and then we could also learn from the mistakes that we that Grammarly found in our writing. So for to make our writing more insightful, it will be proper because I already use Grammarly in many times, also the premium one, and I think it's also recommend, but it has a cost there. But my suggestion is when you use the Grammarly, you should understand the basic of the grammar itself, and then you will find and also learn from the mistakes that Grammarly found on that. And then the second one is about the YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. In my opinion, I don't have any preference for YouTube channel for I mean like for learn writing in English because I love to read a book, so I prefer to read several books that give me an enlightenment through the English writing. But if you want to know several books that it's maybe related how to increase our English writing, you could go just type in Google the author is Ernest Hemingway, and then the other one is but I remember the title. It's writing English writing one on one, just like the title that are already given to you in my presentation. Ms. Salita?
Okay, sir, thank you. And we have the last question for today. It is from Anindya. I want to ask how to avoid laziness to write even though we have the desire to write. Thank you, sir.
Pardon? Could you may I mention again? Sorry.
How to avoid laziness to write even though we have the desire to write.
All right. Okay. Okay. This is also the tough question, I think, because it's related with our habits. Once again, the habits what that we need when we need to overcome with our bad habits, let's move it to the the positive one. I mean that I have one book maybe become a recommendation for you. James Clear, The Atomic Habits. It's also a good one if you want to move your habit from the bad one to the good one. He talked about a tiny movement that could shift our habit from the bad one to become more productive. Well, in terms of writing, personally, I encourage you to find your strong why. Means that if you find your reason why you need to write, why you need to finish your writing, or why you need to involve in several writing competition, then you have extra energy to avoid the laziness or maybe to avoid the bad habits of procrastination. So the first one is just find what is your why there, because when I start to write several years ago, I just realized that okay, the scientific writing will be my bridge to see the world, and that happened. I can travel around Indonesia, and it's free because it's already granted by my university due to the scientific competition, and also I could meet with one of my dream, Snow, the Istanbul Snow that I already written in 2013. So my suggestion is just find your why, strong why, and the second one, just if you can't maybe write in many words in I mean like 800 words or maybe 300 words, just make several tiny steps to go there. Okay, like maybe you could think about the topics that you want to write it, or maybe you could encourage or maybe enrich your understanding or maybe your comprehension on the word the word that maybe you could use in your writing and so on and so forth. So the first one is about the why factors, and the second one is about your initiative to keep closer to your target. I think that's my answer, Alida.
Okay, sir, thank you so much for the answer. And that is the last question for today. And I'm sure everyone has more questions, but that sadly, due to time constraints, we must end the question and answer session right now. As a token of appreciation, we'll now share the screen of certificate of our Mr. Wahyu and take picture. Okay.
Thank you very much. It's great. Thank you.
And all right, it is now to take a picture together with all the participants so that we can commemorate the event together. Please turn on your cameras and I will take the picture. Come on, everyone, just for a while. Okay.